Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid says he will not seek re-election in 2016. He spoke about his decision in a video released this morning. Take a listen.
The decision that I've made has absolutely nothing to do with my injury. It has nothing to do with my being minority leader. And it certainly has nothing to do with my ability to be reelected, because the path to reelection is much easier than it probably has been any time that I've run for reelection.
Ramesh Ponnuru is senior editor at the National Review. Jackie Kucinich is senior politics editor for the Daily Beast. Jackie, we just heard the senator say that his path to re-election looked like a cakewalk. What do you think about that?
I don't know if it would have been a cakewalk. It probably would have been a little bit more difficult than he's letting on. I mean, the Koch brothers really were going to pour money into that race. But I think, Reid did take some time off after he was injured, and he kind of looked and thought, maybe I want a little bit more of this. And when I was talking to Reid's former aides this morning, a couple of them, no one was really surprised. It seemed like fundraising was slowing down, some staffing things were slowing down. So, it appears Senator Reid is ready to move on.
Ramesh, do you buy his explanation that, it wasn't his injury, it wasn't his age, he just wanted out?
Well, Senator Reid has said that he thinks that the Democrats should be spending money in other races and not in Nevada. That's one of the reasons he's going. Well, that, it seems to me, is an admission of what a weak candidate he is. He's saying that funding an incumbent's re-election would be more expensive than putting somebody new in there. That, to me, is not a sign of political strength at home. Isn't it true, Jackie, that just about every other major political office in Nevada is held by a Republican?
Yeah, at this point. Reid has always had a tough fight. Sharon Angle was a little bit of a, I think they expected her to be a lot stronger than she was. But Reid's seat is not a safe one. It never has been. So he was going to have a fight back home. It was going to be grueling. So, yeah, maybe he just didn't want to do it this year.
The Senate under Reid, Ramesh, was pretty much bottled up. Even Democrats were complaining that they couldn't offer amendments on legislation and so forth. That has switched under Mitch McConnell's leadership as a majority leader. Is that going to be enough? I mean, is there enough of a, I guess, a change in direction to offer Republicans some hope of keeping their majority 2 years, well, in the 2016 elections?
Well, I think that because the elections in November went so well for the Republicans, they've got a bit of a cushion. And even if the Senate races in 2016 don't go well, they're likely to maintain the majority. Of course, if they go very badly, they'll lose it. But they do have that cushion there. What I think you're going to keep seeing is a pretty partisan, polarized Senate that doesn't have to do, I think, with who happens to be leading each conference at any particular time. It's just the way American politics are right now.
Yeah, talk about partisan and polarizing. Let's talk about the budget. Before leaving town for their spring recess, the Senate got a budget passed. It makes deep cuts to social programs. Theoretically, it would balance the nation's budget within a decade. The plan, however, not expected to go far. The White House saying minutes ago President Obama will not support any budget that locks in the sequester cuts or the increases in defense funding without also boosting funding for what it calls, quote, economic security. So, Jackie, where do we go from here?
Well, I think the most notable thing about this whole budget fight was the fact the Senate did not pass the doc fix, which fixes how Medicare pays doctors, in part because of Democrats are objecting to the amount of funding that was going to children's health insurance. So it'll be interesting to see if they pass that when they come back, because President Obama has agreed that that's a good bill and should be signed. But budgets they need to pass a budget, but at the end of the day, the budget doesn't matter as much as this other provision.
What about balancing the budget, Ramesh? That was kind of a rallying cry in the country a few years back. Is it still?
Well, I think as the deficit has declined and as the economy has picked up, some of the force behind that has gone away. But most people still think that deficits are a problem and would like the government and both parties to work on it.
We'll see if they can get that done. doesn't
not betting on that.
That's the question.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
the doc fix bill goes the other direction.
Ramesh Ponnuru from the National Review, Jackie Kucinich at the Daily Beast. Thank you both.